Today we're going to do a tutorial on managing the content, adding blogs, categories and the optimization of those so that you're pretty much in control of the content that gets displayed on the website, how it's displayed and how that's optimized. And optimization is quite a key thing for me, which is one of the reasons why I choose to use Joomla as my content management system of choice. I have been using WordPress. In fact, I've been redesigning a website in WordPress today. And what I'm going to show you now takes about 3 to 5 times as long to do in WordPress. However, the design is much quicker, so it's a little bit of a payoff. As you'll see here, we're in the administration area of my main website, and I've chosen this because it has all the categories and optimization options already set up, which we're going to go through. When you log in, you'll go straight to your control panel and you'll see this, and you'll have options to go to items or categories or add a new item. If you don't see this quick launch menu, that's not a problem. You can just go to menu, or the components menu, K2, and select items. And once you're on items, it will display all the items that you've posted previously. So this is one that I posted this morning, for example. Do I need SEO? And you'll see that when I open it, it doesn't actually have an image embedded, and I'm also using a code editor, and the reason for that is really for page load speed and optimization. So I'll use things like a H2 tag to put a header 2 in and a P tag to put a paragraph in, but you can just as easily use the standard editor. My only recommendation would be is that if you use a standard editor, do not copy from Word and paste directly into the editor. And the reason why is that when you do that, it adds something in the region of 200 to 300 lines of additional code that are actually irrelevant. You'll see here on the image tab, I've added an image there. The image on the image tab is used for a number of reasons, and I'll show you how that works in a moment. Primarily for navigation, but also for Open Graph, which is what's used when you're sharing items to social pages like Facebook, Google, Twitter, etc. And you'll notice there are some other tabs here as well, which we're not going to cover at all today. But if you do use them or do need to use them, such as the media tab to add a video, then just let me know, and we can add a plugin that will allow you to embed a video from any of these providers. Great for tutorials, overviews, things like that, supporting information. So I'm just going to cancel that, and we'll go back to K2, and you'll see here they've got the menu items here, and they're replicated here down the left hand side. The ones that you will use most often are items and categories. So let's add a test category. So just click new. So test category. We're not going to give it a parent category. We're just going to let it be in the root, and we're going to say inherit parameters from the blog category. And the reason why is the What No Website primary category and the blog category both have different settings, as do, I believe, the services categories and the My Account categories. So I'm basically saying that this category should reflect or look very similar to the What No Website blog category. And if we go over here on the right hand side, I'll show you what I mean. When I'm looking at an item, it tells me that the item created date and time should be shown, the title of course, featured, author, and various other settings. Now, for a blog, you probably need things like the item created date and time. You probably need the author details, but for other pages, you may not. So we're just going to say, let's use the blog category as the settings. One of the other things you can do with with regards the category and optimization, if you collapse this and then expand this one, metadata information, we can actually put a description, a meta description. Now, generally, you don't need this. However, if you create a menu item, which we're going to cover in a moment, that links to the category rather than to an individual item, this metadata will be displayed. So it's always a good idea when you're creating a category to actually put the metadata in. If you need help with that, just get in touch. I can help you identify which are the best keywords to use, how to optimize the description. You'll notice, for example, even though this is a test category is the title, it's also in the description, and it's also in the keywords. So I'm just going to save and close. You'll notice I haven't put anything in the description at all, and the reason why is because this is purely for navigation and content curation, pulling all the content together from that category. So I'm just going to save that now. And then I'm going to click on items and add a new item to that category. So I'm on items now. I'll just click new. And you'll see here that we've got a new item open. So I'm just going to put that title in and tell it to go to the test category. Some content here. Add some formatting there. Seems my keyboard has decided to play games, so put that there. Now, this is the item that people will view. So one of the key things that you need to do here is make sure that the title is optimized. Make sure that the keywords for the title or the article are as close to the beginning as is humanly possible. Sometimes you will need to put another word or two in front, such as the tutorial about or something like that. But the key thing for me is that we make sure we've got the correct keywords, even though keywords aren't indexed by Google and the other search engines, but they are pertinent to search. And then we go over here to the metadata information, put the description in. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, that article is actually ready to go. Clearly I need to put more content in, I need to add an image, so I can browse the server, find an image and put that up, and then just publish it. So I'm going to click save and close, and then just preview the site. While we're on the subject of optimization, you'll notice that the website has the www prefix. If I remove it, it will automatically replace it, and that's done using what's referred to as a 301 permanent redirect. Your website already has this. Now, one of the things that I'm quite fond of doing is creating dynamic pages. So, for example, this section here will automatically update if I add an item to the blog category or the SEO category, as I did there. So what the blog does is it says, if I post anything into any of these categories here, create a thumbnail and create a link and put it at the top here, so that people don't even have to scroll down into my blog to find the items. They're right at the top here before they even scroll. If I removed that, then they would see this. And again, this dynamically generates items. So I can actually say to the search engines, every time you come to this page, there will be new content, and I tend to post once, maybe twice a week. So you'll find that every time a search engine comes, every time a user comes, there's a new item here. There's another way of doing this. You can actually just link direct to the item, and we're going to do that now. This is the first method. So if I go to menus and main menu, which your website should also have, and this is the main menu up here, I'm going to add a link to that test item. So I'm going to say I want a new menu link. The reaction times on the website are a little slow because I'm using a Tor browser. Typically I think I'm getting, it says in the bottom corner there, server response speed of 2 seconds, which is a little bit slow. So I'm just going to call this test item, and it's asking me for the menu item type, so I have to decide what I'm going to link to, what resource I'm going to link to. And I'm going to link to a K2 item. I could just as easily link to the category. And now it's saying, could you select the item? So I'm going to do that, and it should, there we go, display the last one at the top. So if I click save and close now, a new menu item should appear called test item. I may have to clear cache, but we'll come to that if we have to. So I'm going to click home, and it should appear over here. Yep, there we go. So now I'm linking directly to that item. Now that's all well and good. I can create an item, I can link directly to it, I can create a menu item, but as you can imagine, that menu is going to get really big as I keep adding items to that category, or items to the menu. So if you just go back here, and we go back to the menu items, we've got a few menu items here, so I'll just skip to the end. We'll see there it says test item, links to a K2 item. So I'm going to open it up and change it now. And I'm going to change it from linking to a K2 item to a K2 category. And you'll notice there's no option here to select the item, it's actually up here in options. So if I click options, click that drop down menu, test category, I can actually link to a number of categories if I want to, which is exactly what my blog does. So I'm going to click save and close, and when that's saved, go back to the website. I'm going to stay on this page. What I'm going to do now is press the Control and the R key on my keyboard, so it forces the server to give me a fresh copy of that page. Which is another reason why it's taken a little time. So you'll notice the layout has changed. It's now a category, and it's showing the first few words from that item, and if I click on it, it will actually go to the item itself. So now, every time I add an item to the category test, it will actually automatically add another item into this category page on the website. Now it doesn't look fancy, I agree, not as fancy as the blog for example, and that's actually quite easy to do, and I can cover that for you in a separate tutorial. Quite a lot of people go for this Mosaic layout because you can change the layout of the items. If you want to, you can load just a few more. Or if you have the time and you're willing to make a cup of coffee, you can hold shift and press the button and it will actually load every single item from that category. I think we're going to be sat here for a... Oh, no, it's loaded quite quickly actually. So you'll see these are all the items from my blog. So let's just go back here to this item. I'm just going to turn that menu item off. So I'll just put a tick in the box and click on publish, or alternatively, because I'm only doing one, just click that tick and it will unpublish that menu item. If I go back here, refresh the page, you'll see the test items disappeared.